There is still so much going on with ex-tropical cyclone Alfred, so I'm just going to bring in Miriam Bradbury, who is a senior meteorologist at the Bureau. Thanks for joining us on News Breakfast.
Not a problem.
Well, first of all, just give us a run through of exactly what is happening with this tropical low at the moment and what sort of punch it's actually managed to pack.
So the ex-tropical cyclone is now no longer being analysed on our charts. The low has broken down quite a bit and we're now just having a low pressure trough generating a lot of this wet weather that we're continuing to see. The remnants of that ex-tropical cyclone, they still are having an incredible impact, particularly through southeast Queensland. We've seen very heavy rain and thunderstorms continuing in the last 24 hours with impacts particularly focused early yesterday through Hervey Bay, but as the day progressed, those impacts did move south for Brisbane and the Gold Coast and surrounds. Since 9 o'clock yesterday morning, we've seen widespread totals over those areas of 200 millimetres or more, 300 to 400 millimetres in some parts, even around Brisbane City. And that's come through in several bursts of very, very heavy rainfall associated with very dangerous thunderstorms. So just to touch on a couple of those totals, we've seen 400 millimetres at Wonga Wallen, 360 millimetres at West Woombye and 349 millimetres at Green Hill Reservoir, which is probably the top total around Brisbane. Brisbane City itself has seen around 300 millimetres since yesterday morning. So of course this is leading to a response in our local rivers and creeks. They're all really elevated, really seeing major flooding come through, as well as flash flooding across our roads as well, creating very, very dangerous conditions to wake up to this morning.
So what are some of the emergency warnings that we've got in place, or some of those severe thunderstorm warnings that we're talking about, and also in fact the flood watches?
Yeah, so from the Bureau, we do still have a severe thunderstorm warning current. We've had severe storm warnings current all night. At the moment, we're looking at a thunderstorm cell near Caboolture. It is moving south towards Brisbane, so we're likely to see another burst of that heavy rain coming through in the next couple of hours. We've also got a broader severe weather warning for that heavy to locally intense rainfall continuing still. It covers much of the southeast coast of Queensland, parts of the Wide Bay and Burnett and the Darling Downs and Granite Belt too. It spills back into New South Wales too, parts of the northern rivers, the northern tablelands and the northwest slopes and plains, all captured in that warning. We still could see those 6-hourly rainfall totals of 80 to 120 millimetres. We might see still 6-hourly totals upwards of 150 millimetres through parts of that southeast Queensland coast, including around the Brisbane area, and that's likely to continue over the coming hours. In terms of our flood warnings, major flood warnings remain in place for the Logan, Bremer, Worrell and Albert rivers, as well as the Laidley River, a moderate flood warning in place for the Lockyer River. Down in New South Wales, we've got major flood warnings in place for the Tweed, Richmond and Clarence rivers. So a lot of river response to this rainfall that is expected to continue through this morning.
Miriam Bradbury, thank you so much for all of that information, and of course we'll continue to watch that system as it continues to move further inland. Thanks very much for your time.
Thank you.
Well, you can see that it's still all action there at the moment, and I'll head back to you both just to get the latest on everything else that's going on.